All right, guys, and so now I've got this tank out and I'm gonna work on plastic welding these cracks. I've got a soldering iron that I'm going to use to melt this and try and weld it back together, and then I've got a oil bottle here that I can use for some patch material. Now, like I mentioned, I'm probably going to lose the ability to use this mounting nut, but I'm going to try not to. First, I'm going to try cutting around here and removing that nut, and then welding up the holes, and then maybe being able to put that nut back in. That's the plan. Let's see what happens. Okay, so as I suspected, I had to go ahead and pull that nut all the way out of there because I made a little repair and then it wanted to keep leaking. So now I'm just going to repair that whole thing in and not worry about that mounting bracket, and I should be able to get it sealed. I've got a pretty good repair made on this now, so I'm just going to let it cool down a little bit so everything can bond really good, and then I'm going to take and there's still a little bit of diesel in here, so I'll take this and slosh it around, and if there's any leaks, the diesel will come right back through there. I've tested this. It's a good seal. I've got no leaks, so now I can get this tractor put back together. But before I put it back together, I'm going to go ahead and do a full service to all the fluids and everything, so stay tuned for that video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching the ProCut, and I hope this helps you take the leap to repair some of your plastic tanks that might be cracked or split or broken. This way you don't have to replace them. You could just repair them, use a soldering iron or a plastic welder. Thanks again for watching. On reassembly, the first thing you're going to do is drop your tank back into place and then put your mounting bolts back in. And again, I'm not going to be able to use that bottom mounting hole, but I'll still have the top one and the two on the other side. And this tank really rests in there anyway, so it should not be an issue at all. My lower fuel fill line on, I put my upper vent line on, then I was able to go ahead and put the shroud back on, and this, I put the steering wheel back on. Everything is pretty straightforward, just, you know, backwards from the way you took it off, no big deal. Now, before I put the hood assembly and everything on, I'm going to go ahead and do my oil change, just because it'll make it a little bit easier to get to the fill and everything. All right, so important tip when you're messing with your fuel system on your Yanmar diesel, I went ahead and pulled the water separator out of here because I did have some water in there. You can see that red ring in there. Now, when that's going to float up with water, so all the way at the bottom is where you want it, and it'll float up with water. And then you're going to need to re-prime your system. So turn your fuel petcocks back on, and then this is your injection pump, and then you have a fuel pump right here. You'll notice it says Makuni on it. There's a little pump on the side, and you're going to pump that, and you can see that it's squirting fuel up into your fuel water separator, and it will be doing the same in that fuel filter had you changed that, but I didn't mess with it this time. So you just want to go ahead and keep pumping that, and it's going to purge all the air out of the system. It'll eventually run it back up that hose and back into the tank. So just keep pumping that for a while, and then you're good to go as far as starting your tractor up.